Hi guys. So it turns out that Zandy totally did have COVID, so I'm out until Wednesday. I am also very sick, but I am still testing negative, so hopefully that continues and hopefully I improve. Got kind of a gravelly voice and a cough, so you'll have to deal with that horrible thing. Today we're going to be talking about 4 methods of data collection. It should be a pretty short video, pretty short lesson, and a pretty short homework assignment, so you might have a little extra time to yourself today. Okay, so there are 4 ways that you can collect data. The first way is with an observational study. Hopefully you're listening to this on earbuds, and you can stop and pause anytime you need to. If you're listening to it as a class, you can also ask the sub to stop anytime you need to. An observational study is when a researcher collects data but doesn't interact with the subjects. I'm going to give you 2 examples. One, let's suppose we wanted to know the mating habits of gorillas in the wild. We definitely wouldn't want to get involved in that. We would just want to observe and make notes. That's what an observational study is, not interacting at all with the subjects, just seeing what naturally happens. More realistic example would be like, let's suppose you wanted to see if like a new window display at the hardware store with, I don't know, a new kind of plant soil will sell. That would just be put up the window display and see what happens. You don't encourage people to buy it, you just see what happens. And hopefully the window display does it, and if it doesn't, then you know that the window display didn't work. The next thing is called an experiment. With an experiment, we'll talk about this more tomorrow, you have to have a control group and an experimental group. The experimental group gets the treatment, whatever this is. And the control group does not. The control group is there to see if perhaps just by them thinking that they're getting a drug, like a placebo effect would take place. We'll talk more about that tomorrow as well. So this one you are interfering. You're interfering a lot. This is any kind of like drug studies that are done. Or it's another example I can give you. Perhaps like a psychological study. You're trying to see if effect would, if you did some sort of treatment, some sort of even like a study group or something for one group, if they would respond to it or not. The other group does not get the study group. Something like that. Experiment is pretty common. Lots of people recognize that and understand that. The next thing that you could do is called a simulation. A simulation is when something is too costly or dangerous to do an experiment. For example, let's talk about crash test dummies. I think it's probably a bad idea to put a family of four into a minivan and then crash it against a wall going at 90 miles per hour to see if they survive. So instead, we get crash test dummies that are as close to in weight as we can with actual human beings to see if they will react in the car. Another one is like if they're doing like an earthquake test on a building, they might develop a model or a smaller example of that building and then see if it can withstand an earthquake or a smaller section of the building and put it through some trauma and see what happens. You don't want to actually trigger an earthquake if you can do that and try to kill people. So that's called a simulation for data collection. The final one is a survey. This is just ask people their opinion. This is like any political surveys. This is likely any kind of survey that you would find online. A problem with this is that people lie. People lie about a lot of things, their age, their weight, their opinions even. Or sometimes they don't quite understand their own opinion and they try to explain it and they don't do a good job. So that is an issue. But anyway, these are the four methods that you can obtain any kind of data. For your homework tonight, what you have to do is you have to come up with your own example of all four of these. You can't use one of the ones I did, so you can't be like, what if instead of gorilla mating habits, it was, hyena mating habits? Just don't exactly copy mine. I realize that I went really broad here with drug studies and psychological studies, so you can make up your own experiment for something like that falls into one of those two categories, but I want you to be specific. This one's going to be a little tough to do, but I bet you can do it, and that one should be pretty easy. So be specific about what you're asking about. If you're doing a survey, exactly what are you surveying and who are you surveying? One example of each for your homework that's due tomorrow. All right. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you on Wednesday, and I'm going to try to feel better. Miss you. Bye.